Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who have been following my YouTube videos, I just put up the one I recorded last night. That would be Genesis chapter 46, verses 1 to 27, where it talks about Jacob's journey to Egypt. So, with this video, I want to finish chapter 46. So I'm going to be starting with verse 28 and going all the way to the end, which is verse 33. So it's about 5 or 6 more verses in the chapter. And let's get started. This part of the chapter is subtitled Jacob's family arrives in Goshen. Now, as a reminder, Goshen at this point in time is the most profitable part of Egypt's land. So Pharaoh has allowed Joseph's family to live there so that they may prosper, even though there's still 5 more years of famine, according to what God has revealed through Joseph. So here we go. As they neared their destination, Jacob sent Judah ahead to meet Joseph and get directions to the region of Goshen. And when they finally arrived there, Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father. Jacob, when Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept, holding him for a long time. Finally, Jacob said to Joseph, "Now I am ready to die, since I have seen your face again, and know you are still alive." And Joseph said to his brothers, lost my place for a second. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's entire family, "I will go to Pharaoh and tell him, my brothers and my father's entire family has come to me from the land of Canaan. These men are shepherds, and they raise livestock. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own." Then he said, "When Pharaoh calls for you and asks about your occupation, you must tell him, we, your servants, have raised the livestock all our lives, as our ancestors have done." When you tell him this, he will let you live here in the region of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise shepherds. Okay, so correction, guys. I said this was verses 28 to 33. I miscounted. It's actually 28 to 34. So it's about 8 more verses. But what I want to focus on in this part of verse 46 or chapter 46 is that when Joseph goes to Goshen to meet his family, to meet his father and his brothers, he gives one more directive. He tells them he will go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh that they are here and that they are shepherds and that they have brought their livestock with them, and that once he does that and they meet with Pharaoh, they must tell Pharaoh everything that Joseph tells him, that they are shepherds, that they raise livestock just like their ancestors did, and with that, Pharaoh would allow them to live in Goshen, because it's stated at the end of chapter 46 that Egyptians despise shepherds, and we see this also when the brothers go to have lunch with Joseph in his palace just a few chapters ago, that the Egyptians sat separately from where they had sat because they despised shepherds. Now, it doesn't say why Egyptians despise shepherds, it just says that they did, or at least I didn't catch a reason why. But I think it's very, very important to show that, Joseph knows that he's inviting his family of shepherds into a situation where they're going to be despised, but he also shows them that if you do as I have instructed you, because I've been instructed by God, that you will be okay, and that Pharaoh will allow you to live in this region where it is most profitable. Now think about what might have happened had Joseph not instructed them to repeat this information to Pharaoh when they see him. Their families may have been bullied and pushed around in hell. The Egyptians may have even killed them later on. But because Joseph gave a directive straight from I'm assuming it was from God, because God knows the Egyptians, and because they will follow that instruction, as we will see, I'm sure, in the next chapter 47, his family is able to live peacefully in the land of Goshen. And so I want to pay attention to the fact that even though Joseph is highly overjoyed because it's the first time he's seen his father in a handful of years, I think it's, like I said before, the 13, it might be more than 13 now, but either way, a handful of years, and he he knows that his father is going to come and live close to him. Maybe not with him, but close to him. It would have been easy for Joseph to be wrapped up in that emotion and forget the customs of how Egyptians behave around people like Jacob's family, shepherds. And maybe he forgets to give that directive, and then Jacob and his family are in a situation that they didn't ask for. But because Joseph knew the directive to give them, because he knew how Egyptians reacted to shepherds, and he also knew that God would be placing them in a certain area of Egypt. He was able to give them the instructions that they needed to tell Pharaoh to keep them safe while they were in the land of Egypt. So I think that this teaches me that it's very important to, even when we are overjoyed with excitement, because maybe we see a family member that we haven't seen in years, much like Joseph and his father, that it is vitally important to listen to the instructions of God regardless, because God knows best. So remember to always listen and not get distracted by the excitement that you feel sometimes. It's okay to be excited, but remember, in your excitement, you must also follow the instructions that God has laid upon you. And so, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to be posting this video in a few minutes, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, bye guys.